Welcome to The Trend. I'm Rebecca Granet. Today is such a fun day on set because I am hanging out with Alicia Silverstone, Jennifer Bartels, and Mena Suvari, the stars of the new series American Woman on Paramount Network, June 7th at 10 p.m. And ladies, I'm so happy to welcome you here to the set today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I want to start by asking you, because the show is it's interesting. It's set in Beverly Hills, 1975, but it really talks about second wave feminism, which in a way is so timely right now. So what was it for each of you that drew you to this script and to the project?
I read it and thought, what an amazing part. Really, just Bonnie Nolan goes through so much in the first episode. It was just action-packed. You know, she's outrageous and she's so complicated and juicy and means well, but does very questionable things with her children and others. So I knew it was a really exciting part, something to sink my teeth into. And that's what got me excited about it. And of course, the time, the 70s is this period is so, you're transported into another land, but at the same time, it feels extremely contemporary, the show. So it does both at the same time.
It really does. Is it the same for you, Mena? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I read the pilot, and I had the opportunity of going in and meeting our creator and our executives, and I loved it. I love the 70s. I loved that it was female-centric. I had known of and been a fan of Kyle's, and I loved the idea of Kathleen. She just seemed like a lot of fun and very refreshing, and it was the space that I've been wanting to do more work in, this type of comedic environment, and so I was just really excited. I mean, you know, at that point, it's very early, and you're only really given the pilot, and you know, for me, I didn't necessarily know where this character was going to go, and so, you know, you have this like general excitement, and then it's like a leap of faith in a sense, and then, you know, just furthering the process and finding out more about what was going to happen with all of these characters. It was just really, really exciting, more and more.
Jennifer, do you remember what it was like the first time that the three of you sat down and read the script together? And
yes, well, it was a read-through. So I auditioned for this and read with Alicia, and then and saw the amazing people, creative-wise, that were attached to the show. So I was just like, wow, this would be amazing. So then when I did book the role and we all sat down in the read through, and like Mena Suvari is driving on the lot in front of me, and then I look to my right. Oh, yeah.
Did I cut
you
you
did.
off?
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, that did happen. But I was like, but it's Mena, my new friend. I can't, so let her go. Because I have horrible road rage. And normally I'd be like, oh, excuse me. And then I was like, they think that's Mena. And then I look and I see Alicia, and she's like so like stunning, and everyone was so dressed up. I was in jeans. Note to self, don't do that. And I look to my left, and there's Cheyenne Jackson, and I'm like, this was so amazing. And of course, I was a fangirl for a moment as an actor that, you know, has had a different journey. But then when we read the roles, it was apparent there was some chemistry there. There was something that, like, voice-wise, we all brought to the table, and it felt great. And then and that was just the pilot, you know. But then the show kind of took off in finding its footing. And that's when you kind of get to sink your teeth into these really rich characters and see how amazing they are, but how different they are. And our voices are all very different in the show, and I think we complement each other well. So it's been amazing. Yeah.
And we're so glad you're here to talk about it. I mean, really, that could have really just been a one and done with the car, you know?
Oh, yeah, no.
But you know,
late.
Mena, you had to know that you were getting this role because you're American everything.
Yeah, exactly.
American Pie, American Beauty,
Pretty
American
much.
Horror Story.
It's a given, yeah.
So when you saw this script, you had to have been like, okay, this is definitely mine.
Oh, no. Yeah.
No.
I think I even remember it saying Liberation.
It was called Liberation, the pilot.
And I thought, like, that's the name of it. And then I was like, what happened? Why did they change
It's a
it?
way better title.
It's because they knew you were going to be a part of it. So
It's
like, okay, we
just-
got to quickly change this. We
I
gotta change
give
this
up
now.
at this point. It is, like, highly ironic.
But
But
it's kind of funny.
yeah.
You know, you also mentioned Kyle Richards, which I want to touch on because, Alicia, you play Bonnie, which you mentioned as well, and she is the character. So Kyle Richards is the co-executive producer of the show, and this whole show is loosely based on her upbringing. So Bonnie is supposed to be based on her mother. Yeah. What was the process like of getting to work with her, learning about her upbringing, and then getting to portray, I mean, that's very personal, to get to portray her mother on screen?
Well, my understanding is that Kyle downloaded all of her stories into the producers, John Wells and John Regi. And John Regi, the creator, then took that and wrote the pilot, and then with the writing team created our show. So it is loosely based on her life. She has amazing, juicy stories that you will see throughout the entire series. And so I am playing her mother. But it's we say loosely based because it's not like I didn't study videotapes of her mother, and it's not to the T. Like there's 2 children, not 3 children. There's many things that happened that didn't happen with Kyle's mother, you know, because it's really John Wells and John Regi and Kyle's mother's all mixed in, and then of course what I bring to it, so it all just becomes its own thing, right? Mm-hmm. But when I sat down with when I met with John Regi, our creator, Alex Hardcastle, our director, Kyle Richards, and John Wells Productions, in that room, Kyle told these amazing stories about her mom. She told stories about how, and those were the outrage. I mean, at one point I had to say, Kyle, please cover your ears. Cover your ears. I'm going to ask John a question now because I needed to understand how true are we staying to it, because we want to like this, we want to care, and like some of the things that she does are real. Her mother did, while Kyle, as the daughter, feels she was so loved that she understands and completely, you know, she's not harmed or damaged.
She's become comfortable with the decisions her mom made.
She loves her mommy so much. But being an outsider, hearing these stories, I'm like, that's fantastic and awful, you know, like, so, and just as a mom, you know, so I'm just like, okay, that's great. That's so juicy. Now, how do we, you know, because sometimes she did things like she'd rather her kids, well, you'll see it in the show. Yeah. But, but the point is that it was all done with love. And so how I took it upon myself is my character, Bonnie, loves her daughters so much, but she does things that you just go like, don't do that. That's not good.
Makes her such a dynamic character, though, too.
Yeah, so it's so much fun. And so Kyle, that's really it. Kyle told me those stories in that meeting, and Kyle obviously told them the stories that they then went to write the script with, but that's sort of all that was needed to do.
Yeah. And Jennifer, I saw you posted something on Instagram about your journey to finding yourself in this role, and I love because your character is so about being empowered and being passionate about the working world. And I wonder sort of your journey, your personal journey to this role, if you could look back and talk to the young girl who was selling cell phones or waiting tables at Ruby Tuesdays, what would you tell her about where she would end up today?
Keep going, and you know, you won't be picking at salad bars forever. I think it's about not giving up, and that's such a broad statement. But when you want something so badly, and you've really set up, you do the prep, you know, because you don't know how this is a hard industry. But when you are prepared and you have a willingness to keep going, and you're kind in doing it, I feel like that's what I would tell little Jen, like, keep going. You're going to have, everyone deals with certain trials and tribulations and is going through something. And that's okay. It's what you learned from that. And I think through Diana, I've gained and through these women on and off screen. Oh, didn't mean to punch the mic. Very passionate.
We love it.
Yeah. On and off screen, I've learned so much from the strong women that were on set and my co-stars, like, just what it is to be a strong woman. I haven't really told you guys that, but hi. Because I think I'm inspired a lot by the people around me, and it makes me want to be a better woman. And sometimes you have bad days, you know, when it comes to like feeling empowered or feeling worthy. And I think it's about like believing in yourself and sticking with it for the long haul if you really want something. Yeah. I mean, it's never going to go the way. If I was like, little Jen, you're going to be in a show with Alicia Silverstone and Mena Suvari, little Jen would be like, okay. you dream big. So it's just really special and really important
But
to
dream
me.
big.
But
right?
dream big, right, guy? I mean, yeah, I guess so. I'm here.
Yeah.
Dream big. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's talk about empowerment for a second, because that's so much. I mean, having watched a few of the episodes of the series, it's so much what this is about. It's like the stories of the three women and how their friendship, but also being empowered women. And we're living in such a time, I mean, with the Me Too movement, Time's Up, we're living in such a time where that's become so at the forefront. Sexual misconduct allegations. Matt Lauer, Charlie Rose. Mina, you worked with Kevin Spacey earlier in your career. And I wanted to mention a quote that your character, Bonnie, says in the show. And it was, "Never let a man intimidate you under any circumstances. You always have to stand up for yourself." What is it like to be able to be, in each character has their own sort of moments in the show. What is it like to be women in today's generation and get to play such empowered women finding their voices?
I mean, I think it's really exciting and it's a huge honor. I mean, just listening to Jen earlier, it's both of these women are a huge inspiration to me, and to be able to have the opportunity to work together on something special like this. I mean, this is almost 5 years in the making, the development of this show, and so for it to be premiering at this time, it's really special, and it feels like a huge honor. It was a great learning process for me, just taking on the role of Kathleen and her whole journey, and thinking about what I've gone through in my life, and what I've had to fight for, what I thought about my mother and what she possibly, the obstacles that she came up against, and I think it's for me, it's really exciting, and it's a big honor.
Yeah, absolutely. One more quick thing before we get into the 10 for 10. I know the two of you were on Lip Sync Battle, which is coming up soon.
Oh no!
How was that experience? What can we expect from your lip syncing? Is this a thing that you guys do, or is this a newfound talent?
Totally. Like every weekend.
We were sort of dared. We were in Cannes together, and that's when it first got
Well, they
brought
brought it up, and they're like, you got to do it. It's like, Michael, da-da-da. And I thought, it's like, yeah, right. And then I thought, well, God, is Alicia going to do it? And
Yeah, she is.
when she was going to do it, I'm like, well, I have to do it.
Oh my gosh.
It was terrifying.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be a
It
lot of
looks
fun.
amazing. I
Right?
saw the
Doesn't it?
trailer for it, and I was like,
terrifying.
I love it. Everyone looks so fierce and strong. I'm so excited to watch this as a fan.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It was
Ditto.
fun, but we'll see.
It was like a little bit of panic attack. We were backstage right before we went on, and I was like, she kind of psyched me out.
This one's amazing. She's like stretching. She's like, I got this backstage,
because-
like ready to go out.
Remember, we had seen our episodes of the show, and I said to Mena, like, do you have your songs picked for Lip Sync Battle? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, what, you do? And she was like, yeah. And she was so calm. And I was like, oh man, like I don't know my songs. I have to figure them out. And so I got like I was like, she's so good with music. She's gonna have the best songs. So I just got nervous. And then I started rehearsing, and before I like did this move, I jumped down to the ground in a full, like, I don't know what the hell you call it.
Like a
But
split kind of a thing?
It's just something.
Okay.
And I
Sliding.
I didn't stretch at all. Didn't stretch at all, and so I pulled something. So that's why I was stretching like a maniac, right? Because I had this knot in my leg, and she and I were backstage, and they psych you out too because you have to wait and wait and wait to go out. And I was just, my heart, I felt like I was doing an opening night on Broadway, like, because I do that too.
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
how that feels. You're like, ah! It was so crazy, but it was so much fun too.
So it's like terrifying, but also
Terrifying.
amazing at the same time.
Terrifying, humiliating, and awesome all at the same time.
We cannot wait.
Terrifying, humiliating.
Isn't that how it always goes, right?
Yeah.
We cannot wait to see it. With that, this is also terrifying and amazing at the same time. So get prepared. 10 for 10 challenge, 10 questions. You have 10 seconds to answer each one. So it's typically like a sentence. And then each one, I'll say your name so you'll know each one's going to have one, okay? So, Alicia, we're going to start with you. A fun fact about Mena.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I can answer that in 10 seconds. Shoot.
Should we
Ask Jen. Ask Jen.
Okay.
Pass it to Jen. She'll do it
Okay, well,
better.
actually, the next one's for Mena. A fun fact about Jen.
have a fun fact about Alicia. Damn it. And I was like, had that one on the
Do you
tip of
want
my
to? Should we switch it up? Basically, the first three is each one has to give a fun fact about one of the others. So if you
fun
have,
fact.
I'll open it up.
Well, you like that UFC or
Oh, yeah, MMA fight.
MMA?
Okay.
I thought that was
being in France.
What? I'm sorry. Peeing in
Or
France?
that.
Is that what you just? What happened?
She's an unusual person. No.
Well, I mean, if you go to France, this had to have been an unusual.
I just had to pee and I went in the woods. Whatever.
There you go.
You got to keep it natural. Listen.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. It was like the most fancy
Yeah.
hotel in.
We're all human beings at the end of the day.
Could you imagine if someone actually saw you? Like
I
they'd
was
be
very
like,
careful.
"Well done."
Oh, God, a fun fact. I'm so bad with these.
Okay, so you got your fun fact, so you're good. You're
I'm
good.
awesome.
So Alicia, you need one.
I had
And
to come up
Jennifer,
with
you
for
need one.
Jen, though.
Who's my fun fact am I telling?
Well, originally yours was about Alicia.
But now it's about Mena.
Yes.
We did Alicia.
Mhm.
Okay. A fun fact about Mena
Go there.
is
So curious.
She doesn't know how to drive.
a fun fact about
I cut people off.
Vegan.
she's vegan. Well, yeah,
You're vegan.
She's vegan. She's also obsessed with David Bowie and has and she's also really clean. Like she is really clean. She's like, come in, make yourselves at home, take off your shoes. Thank you so much. Come in, put that in, use the coaster. Thank you.
I only vacuum like 4 times
Yeah,
a day.
she's like, that was fun, wasn't it? I'm like, I'm still eating. She's like, we're done, we're good. Her place looks amazing, but yeah, she
fabulous.
inspires me to
It's
clean
true.
more.
Even like our dressing rooms.
You keep it all clean.
Hers.
Just
Hers was like photos and like candles and like super homey. I wanted to hang out in all the time. And mine was just like my purse and like my flip flops and like whatever I wore that day. And that's it.
that's
I
a
had,
good one about
candle. It was so sad and minimalist. Theirs were like really homey and
So there's a fun fact that you keep a very homey dressing room.
yeah.
Yeah, I like
good.
to take, yeah.
All right, that works.
Yeah.
Okay, back on track to each one now. Alicia, something you can't wait to check off your bucket list, besides for peeing in France.
No, that's not what it is. I don't know if it's a bucket list, but I would like to go to New Zealand.
Sure.
I've been to New Zealand when I was little, but I feel like there's a trail there that you can do where you hike and then you camp and then you hike and you camp. That just sounds fun right now.
That sounds great.
She's there mentally, right?
Yeah, it's just like we're so in New Zealand right now. It's like not even funny. Mena, what's the song that makes you the happiest when you hear it?
Bless you.
No heckling. The song that makes me the happiest when I hear it. I'm really into Vince Guaraldi. He's a jazz musician from the 60s, San Francisco. Oh. And I like his whole vibe. I just think he's like the coolest cat. I love his music. I've been collecting a lot of vinyl, like any vinyl that I can find on him. A lot of people don't know about him, but he's just, so I love his music. It's like jivey.
That's great. Jennifer, what about if you had to pick a TV sitcom family that you would like to be a member of, if you could just insert yourself into that family? Which family would you want to be a part of?
I mean, the first one that comes to mind, because I wanted to use the 10-second rule, is Full House, because I loved Uncle Jesse. But I wouldn't want to be related to Uncle Jesse because I have a crush on Uncle Jesse, and that would be weird.
That would be a problem. That would totally be a
Full
problem.
House.
All in the family. Would that be fun?
So what about
my second thing? And I was like, I could any normal. Yes, I could do any of that as well. I like
Facts of
maybe
life.
we'll make you a Gibbler though, because if you were like related to Kimmy Gibbler, then you could actually like get with Uncle Jesse. But right?
Yeah, that'd be a weird twist for ABC Family. But yeah, I guess I could be a Gibbler. Gibbler just sounds like a funny word,
doesn't it?
Like, there's only crumbs left. No, Gibblers. Like little Gibblers.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I like it. No,
Tiring day. Okay.
great, wonderful answer. Alicia, what about your favorite way to relax?
Well, I was just in Hawaii for, not just, but like in February with my son for 18 days alone with him in Maui and in
That'll
in
do it.
Kauai. And it was divine to just have just be alone with him. And every day to not have I carved out that time so I didn't have to work. I would just have to do like an hour at night. And so I could really just be with him and go on adventures. And that feeling of being in my friend's truck and just being like, not knowing where we were going and just driving, and it's so exciting to check out like that with the person you love most in the world. So it was incredible.
That'll do it for sure.
Yeah.
Mena, what about the craziest food you've ever eaten?
Craziest food.
I mean, I loved it, but I actually was doing work with AMREF, which is the African Medical Research Foundation at the time, and I went over to Uganda and Ethiopia for a week each. And when I was in Ethiopia, it was my birthday, and they created this whole dinner dance celebration for me, and it was amazing. I mean, the whole experience, they have very large trays, and you sort of eat. There's like a bread that they make, sort of like a sour grain bread, and then you sort of eat the food with your hands, and it was
wow,
it was amazing.
What
like
an
massive
experience!
Trays, and yeah, so that was something that was really special, and for my birthday.
That's
it was
a great
really nice.
birthday. Yeah. All right, your last two. Jen, give me a funny moment that happened on set of American Woman.
Oh, there were, we were shooting in my mother's home on the lot in the back of Warner Brothers, and we heard and we looked up, and there was a raccoon, and it was like a mama raccoon that was like, "Come on, kids," but I don't know if that's what she said, but then 7 other little baby raccoons. We had to hold, it was a really serious scene, and you just heard like they ruined every time it was action, they would be like, "Now," and they'd make noise. So we had to bait them with little chunks of snacks, and we all had to we all had to hide, like 50 people, a whole bunch of gibblers, and 50 people had to be perfectly still, and we hid and we waited, and all the little raccoons came out, and then they went on their way. I thought that was cute. Down the stairs, and they called back. They were like, "It's safe." Yeah, it was really cute.
Oh, I like that. And then, Alicia, your last one. Something you hope people will take away from watching American Woman.
Well, I just love the theme that, we're all liberating ourselves at all times. I think that's part of the human journey, right? To keep freeing yourself from anything that keeps you stuck and anything that is that you're struggling with. And that is what our show is about, liberation. And my character in particular, Bonnie, she's fit because it's 1975, and that's a time when if your husband grabs your arm and says, "You are going to do what I say, I'm the husband, and you will put your head down and move forward, and we're going to forget about all this," the right thing for her to do is to say, "Absolutely," because that's her job. But this character is such a firecracker, and she's not going to be stuck anymore. And the moment she realizes that the life she's living is not actually what she thought it was, because she was doing it all for love, the moment it's taken away from her, she sees red, pulls a knife, and get out of the house.
It's quite the moment.
And then she decides in that moment, she just really impulsively chooses to live her truth, whatever that is. And then her friends really support her in that, and she has to say, I don't know she doesn't know how she's going to survive. She has no idea what's on the other side of it. And I love that about life. I love that I've been stuck many a time, and I wish I could have unstuck myself so much sooner, but you only can unstuck yourself when you can. You only get there when you're meant to get there. And I love that she just does, and then it's no idea what's on the other side of that, and it's so risky. She could not survive. And I think that's the bravest thing we all can do in this life. And I hope I never get stuck again, but I'm sure I will, because that's what life is. You just get stuck, and then you have to unstuck, and that's what happens.
Being fearless, right?
Yeah.
Going to the other side. Absolutely. Yeah. Alicia, Mena, Jen, thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing all that great information. Remind everybody, American Woman, Paramount Network, June 7th at 10 p.m. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.